A while ago, I said that Twilight was one of the best movies ever born from cinematic history. Let me explain why. Hello, my name is AshleyBearrXO. Welcome back to my channel. This topic is a bit random, but it is something that I've been holding deep in my heart for a long time. And you know, anytime that Twilight gets brought up in any situation, slander is always followed, you know, and I never understood why or the logic behind it, the actual logical reasoning for the Twilight hate train, you know, if you will. So I came here tonight to discuss my thoughts, my views, my opinions, and the facts on why Twilight is not even that bad. In fact, I will go as far to say that it is one of the best things to come out of cinematic movie history. I have a notebook here, and I actually prepped some things for this video, and that's how you know I'm serious, you know, like I never ever plan or prep for my videos, so this is some real stuff right here, okay? Just a little breakdown. First thing that I want to make it as a disclaimer is that Twilight was made for a certain demographic. Let's start there before we start getting crazy, you know, ahead of ourselves. Twilight was made for teens, young adults, you know, like 18, 19, 20, 21-ish year olds, and for the people who like the romance genre. You know, one major discrepancy that I see when it comes to the people that just talk down on Twilight, it's usually always boys, older people, and people who do not care about the romance aspect of anything, any TV show or movie. So it's just like someone complaining about a party that they were never invited to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be here in the first place, so why are you even, you know, trying to spread this plague of your opinion to, you know, people who literally just mind their business? And that's me. I'm including myself in that category. I just mind my business. But you know, Twilight comes up, people start talking when no one asks them to talk. So that's just one thing. That's just the main thing I need to get out the way first. So this movie is not an action movie, okay? The main core of the whole Twilight franchise is Bella and Edward's relationship, period, okay? Nothing, literally nothing, everything else is just an add-on, okay? Just an add-on, like just a little sprinkle to add more to the movie, you know, because it just can't be an hour and 30 minutes of just, you know, two people staring at each other. So that's what I want to say first. It's not an action movie. The first Twilight movie came out in 2008, okay, and around that time there was Harry Potter and the Hunger Games. I'm pretty sure Harry Potter had the whole fantasy, beat the bad guys aspect of it. The Hunger Games, it was a dystopia, you know, a little bit of romance here and there, but there was nothing around that time that just focused basically on two ordinary, I use that word loosely, one ordinary girl and one, you know, dude who happened to be a vampire, who happened to be in high school living a seemingly like normal life, but it was just about them two, you know, just falling for each other hard. What I was trying to say was that there was nothing around that time that really catered to a younger female audience. Didn't really care about Harry Potter or the Hunger Games. Like, there was nothing really catered specifically to them at that time. So that was one point I was trying to say. That's where one of my points comes up, is Twilight was sort of the first of its kind, if you will, to have this whole like vampire fantasy love triangle thing. Like Twilight was a pioneer at this stuff, okay? This is why I say, and I will always say, that it made cinematic history, not only in the box office but just in movie making in general. Because think of it, before Twilight, what other vampire love story was there? What other werewolf love story was there? You know, Dracula, what's it called, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is that who it is? But basically my point is, there's nothing really monumental that made people be like,
oh my gosh, like I want to be a vampire. Oh my gosh, where's my Edward, where's my Jacob?
After Twilight, that's when, you know, Teen Wolf and Vampire Diaries and My Babysitter's a Vampire and Boy Who Cried Wolf, like that's when all of that stuff started happening, was after the fact. It's just movie making history. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but like, come on. Twilight was also made as like an indie film. It was not made to be this huge blockbuster title that turned into like, you know, like $1 million franchise, billion at that, $1 billion franchise. It was never meant to, you know, have that much success. But like, movies just don't pop off for no reason, okay? Let me just say that for one. If you take all the Twilight movies combined from 2008 to 2000, I'm not quite sure when the last movie was, but from point A to point B, all the movies together made $3.3 billion in box office sales alone. That's not even including the merch, the books, tours, like nothing. That's just off of people going to the movie theaters, okay? Now, you can't tell me that Twilight's a bad movie. Like, bad movies do not do that good. I said it. I know we don't want to, I never ever want to bring up numbers, because, you know, not everything's on numbers, but bad movies just don't do that good, like, at all. No matter how you feel about this or that or this or that, numbers do not lie. They don't. I'm sorry. They don't lie. I know people love to bring up, like, looking back at Twilight, it's cringy and it's awkward and Bella acts weird and, you know, all that stuff. But you have to think about it. This was 2008. Cringe didn't even like exist, basically. So no one really like viewed it as that. So I feel like whenever people try to be like, oh, it's just cringy and blah blah blah, as their like main argument for saying that it's bad, I'm just like, it's invalid. It's really invalid, because nobody, not one soul, was saying that back then. Twilight, it was different. I'm just talking about the first movie in general, okay? We all remember that, you know, iconic blue hue, that filter the movie had. It was edgy. It was like gloomy. Like, it made us like, we all resonated with Bella. Like, don't even lie. Whether you resonated with her or wanted to be her, whatever the case was, we wanted to be in her shoes. All the movies in general had a beautiful soundtrack. Like, if you're not gonna give props to Twilight for anything, give props to the soundtrack. Give props to the orchestra. Give props to whoever was in charge of the music crew, the music department, okay? Like, I'm telling you, I got all the soundtracks on my phone to date. Like, Bella's Lullaby, timeless. It's a timeless piece of music. Music can really make or break a movie, because you can have a good movie, bad soundtrack, it's not a vibe. Or you could have a great soundtrack, bad movie, and it's just like but that's not the case with Twilight. Do not get me twisted, that's not the case with Twilight. The relationship between the music and the movie in Twilight was just, it was cohesive. It worked well together, you know what I'm saying? Because the music sort of matched with the Bella's mood, you know, and just like with the whatever hype was going on in the scene at the time, whether it was, you know, the little folky, because you know the first and second movie had all like the folky type country, not country but folksy, is that a word, type music. The orchestras just got better and better with each movie. Eclipse will still be my favorite one out of all the 5. I'm sorry, I can't even put this into words. Like I have no words for how good the music is. Like I think anyone can agree on that. Any sane person can agree on that. So I'm just gonna move on from that because I shouldn't have to spend so much time defending this when it should be obvious right when you listen to it. But anyways, one thing I will commend, which no one really talks about, no one ever really talks about, is the character dynamics. They're not side characters, but the ones that aren't Bella, Edward, and Jacob. Alice, Jasper, Carlisle, they each played like really good roles in the relationships that they had with Edward and Bella. Alice was sort of there for Bella. Jasper was like an ear for Edward, and Carlisle was like Edward's dad in a way, and he was really welcoming. I never hear people like talk about them, and I just felt like they needed their prompt. People love to say,
oh my gosh, Edward and Bella is so boring, they're the most boringest couple, Bella's so boring.
Shut up, because we've heard it all. We've literally heard this all before, okay? Let me just say this, personal opinions aside, okay? Boring people like boring people. I'm sorry, it's not that hard to understand, and it's not that hard to be like, oh, okay, like that's why they're together, you know? Bella, honestly, she just likes what she likes. Edward, he just likes what he likes. Bella was, you know, just the woman for him right when he saw her. I just never got the big hoopla about it. Like, if all you could say is the character is boring, is that like really all you have to bring to the table to like devalue this movie? I just never understood it, like, because each character has their own pros and cons. Like, people look at them very, you know, two-dimensional, one-dimensional, but like they're not realizing that like Bella, she has her own pros. Like, she's very brave for one. Like, you find out this dude you crushing on is a vampire killing machine, allegedly. Like, he literally was like, Bella, like, I could literally kill you right now. And she was like, baby, I don't care. I do not care. I don't know if you would call her like just psychotic or desperate or brave, but I'm gonna call her brave for that, because I'm like, oh, so she thinks she being bad, like she do not care. And Edward even saw that. He was like, dang, like she don't really care, like that didn't really work on her, like what do I do now? Personally, me, I can see Edward as a protector in a way. From the jump, he wanted to protect her from everything, including himself, which people forget to mention, because people love to say that.
Oh my gosh, like, Edward is so toxic.
Are we watching the same movie or what? Like, I don't get it. And also, one thing that I found really stupid that people love to bring up, they say,
oh my gosh, it's so creepy that a 107-year-old vampire likes a 17-year-old girl.
I'm sorry, last time I checked this, he was a vampire. Emphasis on the vampire part. People love to shift their focus on things that don't matter that much. Like, mind you, let me just throw this out there, he was 17 when he got turned, but no one wants to hear that part. And also, mind you, he's a vampire, okay? It's a fictional fantasy movie. there's no vampires in real life. I hope not, because if there is, where they at so they can turn me? Anyways, there's vampires and werewolves, and y'all are worrying about.
Oh my gosh, she's 107 years old. That's so creepy.
That's your biggest concern? Really? 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 I don't want to hear it. I don't. I really don't. I've watched a lot of commentary on Twilight, what people have to say, people's opinions, blah, blah, blah. And it's usually like I said in the beginning, for people that, first of all, is not in the demographic that Twilight was made for. And secondly, they'd love to point out that, oh, the storyline and the storytelling of it was just so long and slow. They're like, oh, in the first movie, nothing really happened. Victoria got, you know, pissed off. Second movie, nothing really happened. Victoria was on the run. Third movie, really popped off. Fourth movie, you know, another little action. I'm just like, people are complaining because the action part of the storyline is so spread out in a way. Like in the first movie, you know, Bella got beat, you know, she got pretty tore up. And then second movie, nothing really happened. Third movie, my favorite movie, newborns, and the Victoria basically got revenge. She got beat, she got killed. And then fourth movie, just to build up to the fifth movie, was just the final battle. We all know the story. So people love to critique and complain that, like, it took so long to just build up to the action part. But like I said, y'all are forgetting, Twilight was not an action series. Like, that's not what it's about. You can't complain that there's no turkey at the table when it's not Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just love to bring things out of thin air, throw it, be like, that's why it's not good, that's why. I'm just like, y'all are missing the whole premise. Okay, this is about Bella and Edward Bellward. That's it. That's the whole movie. Like, that's what matters. And I think people are forgetting that, because the people that complain about it don't really care about Bella and Edward. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, if you don't care about them, why you even watch it off from the jump? Like, you shouldn't be watching this. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? That's like watching something you know you're not gonna like, you know you're not gonna enjoy, you know you don't really care for, but then just go and love to critique about it when you knew from the jump that it wasn't really for you. So anyway, lastly, I'm just gonna give my opinions. This part is just not me defending the movie anymore. This is just me saying my opinions about, you know, just stuff in general. The best song that came out of Twilight was Bella's Lullaby and My Love by Sia. Period. I will play My Love at my wedding. Guaranteed. Okay, that song will be played at my wedding because it's just the most gorgeous song I've ever heard in my life. I feel like Jasper needs more representation. I feel like people don't really think about Jasper. I'm just like, hey, just think about Jasper from time to time. And oh, Team Edward all the way. I never really understood why people were Team Jacob, other than the fact that he was hotter than Edward, allegedly. Me personally, I didn't find either one of them attractive in the movie. I'm not talking about Robert or Taylor, okay? I'm talking about Edward and Jacob. I didn't find either of them attractive, so I just based who I liked off of what made sense for Bella, at least. And I'm sorry, but Jacob was a loser. I'm sorry, I had to say, I'm sorry to say, Jacob was a loser. Like, like, from the second movie, there's 5 of them. From the second one, Bella said to his face, it will always be Edward. I guess at that point, Jacob was like, because there was just something that didn't process in his head that he was never going to be endgame for Bella. I just never got it. Like, he always just screamed sore loser, small boy. Like, he always just screamed like pick me, you know what I'm saying? And nobody likes to pick me at all. But that about wraps up my commentary. I hope you liked it. If you made it to this far in the video, thank you so much, first of all, for watching. Comment your thoughts on literally anything that I said in this video. Honestly, a bit curious to know. And if you're interested, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Right here. Right there. Just go ahead and search me up, follow, do whatever. And yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm trying to post more often. And I think I'm gonna do more of these like commentary videos on my channel, because I got a lot to talk about with a lot of shows. So let me know if you like these. I'm still gonna record them regardless. But yeah, that is it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
And I need a day red bone, shorty wild like bad bitch in LA. Tell me that should make the trip. Shorty bad as hell, yeah. With them college journalists, Uber every fucking where. Free rolls in my bib, Canada, John.